Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 games that were finally unbanned.
I insist on the propagation of the basics. Teamwork, encouragement, inspiration.
For this list, we're looking at games that got themselves banned from various governments only to be overturned sometime later. Were you surprised by these games escaping the ban hammer? Which bans are you still waiting to see get lifted? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, Carmageddon. Carmageddon has long been one of the earliest and most famous cases of banned video games, especially when looking at banned games in the UK. For those unfamiliar, Carmageddon was under fire by the UK government as the game allows players to run over pedestrians for personal gain. While the original game was banned, British players were allowed to purchase a censored version of the game, replacing the pedestrians with robots and zombies. The ban has since been lifted, however, and UK players can now play Carmageddon in its original form.
Sorry.
Number 9, Roblox. As online games become more focused with the free-to-play model, the easier it is for kids to jump into these games regardless of rating. This has led to some governments claiming certain games are corrupting the youth. That was the case with Roblox and the United Arab Emirates. The UAE banned the online service in May 2018, possibly under the belief that Roblox is harmful to children. Funny enough, Roblox was not banned for as long as some of the other games on our list have, and kids in the UAE can play on the website with no problems. Number 8, God of War series. Kratos is in a bit of a weird spot with the Saudi Arabian government. Back in his angrier, more youthful days, all of the God of War games were banned in Saudi Arabia due to violence, nudity, and the use of the word God in the title. While these games are still banned today, there is one game in the franchise that somehow got approved for sale, the 2018 God of War. Despite the game not featuring any nudity or sexual activity, it does boast a ton of violence and still references mythology that goes against the Saudi Arabian government's beliefs. Yeah, we're totally confused too. Number 7, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. As we mentioned earlier, many online games get attacked for being a danger to the children. We could certainly understand the concern for a game like Roblox, which has players of all ages and backgrounds. The case with PUBG is more confusing though. As the UAE did with Roblox, Nepal banned PUBG in 2019, claiming the game was addictive to children and teenagers. Considering the downward spiral in player base that PUBG was going through at this time, we're honestly surprised Nepal didn't go after Fortnite instead. Nepal's ban did not last long either, having been lifted a few months later. Number 6, Bully.
This place is full of bullies and maniacs.
Nonsense! That's just school spirit. Come here.
You're a degenerate to think I trusted you!
At the time of its launch, Bully proved to be just as controversial as Rockstar's flagship franchise. Several governments took issue with the game giving players the ability to beat up their fellow students and wreak havoc around the in-game world. Roughly 2 years after release, Brazil would ban the game from sale in the country, citing a study that claimed the game could cause potential harm among teenagers and kids. It wasn't until 2016 when the ban was lifted, just a couple of months after the game re-released on PlayStation 4.
And we certainly will not tolerate bad language, violent conduct, disrespecting staff, or any other nonsense not at Bulwark.
Number 5, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon 2. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and Mercenaries Playground of Destruction.
Bombs free.
Yes, we have ourselves a triple whammy of bans, as these games were all banned for the same reasons. Each of the game's storylines took place in or touched upon a war between North Korea and South Korea, two countries that have long lived in tension with each other. In fear of the possible repercussions, South Korea would ban all 3 games from sale at the time of their respective launches. However, the bans would only last roughly 2 years, each one being lifted in 2007. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why modern game companies try not to commentate or stray too close to political subject matter.
What was that? It's just darkness. Remember, you're trained for this.
Number 4. Half-Life. We know what you're thinking. How could anyone possibly ban one of the greatest FPF games to ever exist? Well, the government of Singapore tried to, and is one of the most controversial topics in the country. Sometime in 2000, Singapore's government announced they were banning Half-Life for the most heinous crime imaginable, being violent. Retailers were ordered to pull the game from their shelves, while other shops were straight up raided. The outcry became so tumultuous that the government was eventually pressured into lifting the ban a week later.
Man, am I glad to see you. What the hell are these things? And why are they wearing Assassin's Creed uniforms?
Number 3. Manhunt 2.
This is insane.
Go on, try it. See how it feels to own a life.
Killed him. I feel sick.
Yes, another Rockstar title that has seen its fair share of controversy has, unsurprisingly, been banned. The Republic of Ireland joined the UK in prohibiting sale of the game due to gross, unrelenting, and gratuitous violence, citing the then realistic kill animations and graphic nature. Of course, Manhunt 2 launched, got some mediocre review scores, and everyone turned out fine. It wasn't long until Ireland revoked its ban and simply gave the game a PEGI 18 rating, which, tells people that this game should only be played by folks who are age 18 or older. Number 2. Wolfenstein series.
I will saw your head off with this here appliance, you hear me?
Zur Hölle mit dir, deinem verdammten Widerstand!
It is worth mentioning that Wolfenstein hasn't been completely banned in Germany. For decades, the franchise was refused a rating and denied sale in the country, and even when 2014's The New Order was allowed to be sold in the country, a first for the franchise, it still went under serious changes, removing all Nazi imagery. This is because the German government does not view video games as a work of art, only a toy, a means to entertain and nothing more. Therefore, they don't want toys to feature images like the Nazi flag or Adolf Hitler. Meanwhile, most other countries where the Wolfenstein games are sold have made it clear in their ratings that the games are not suitable for younger audiences.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Grand Theft Auto 3. When looking at banned video games, no country has a list quite as extensive as Australia. Well, maybe some countries. The Australian government has long been a minefield for video games, with many games being banned for reasons some would consider minute or unreasonable. Shockingly, one of the few games that have had their bans lifted was Grand Theft Auto 3, which was prohibited from sale due to the possibility of interacting with prostitutes within the game. GTA 3 would see a release in Australia, but it was only after Rockstar removed all possible interactions. It wasn't until 2019 when Aussie players would finally get to experience Rockstar's acclaimed title in its intended state.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.